Dear students, today let us know about mammary glands. It's also a part of the study from female reproductive system. As we know that we all human beings are also mammals, and all mammals have one common character, that is presence of mammary glands. Mammary glands serve a very important purpose, that is feeding the young ones. At least for 6 months, the newborn baby should be fed with mother's breast milk only. Okay, now let us see what are mammary glands and what is the detailed structure of a mammary gland, how it functions. Now the diagram you see on the screen is the NCERT diagram. You are familiar with that? It's a section through the mammary gland. Of course, adult human female has got a pair of mammary glands located in the chest region, and in a section, if you look at, it is a gland which is modified from the sweat glands, and it's a skin gland. Remember, it is in the skin gland. And if you take up the type of the gland, it is branched alveolar glands, because there are large number of grapes like small mammary alveoli, and that make up the main part of the glands. And these alveoli are made up of some secretory epithelial cells that synthesize and release the milk. Basically, the human mammary gland, it is divided internally into 15 to 20 lobes. We call them as mammary lobes. So here in this diagram you can see one lobe can be taken like this. So there are 15 to 20 mammary lobes. Each mammary lobe contains several mammary alveoli which are connected with the duct system, and that the duct system is made up of different types of ducts like mammary ducts, lactiferous ducts, ampullae. All these duct systems ultimately open into the nipple, through which the milk is ejected out. Other than the glands or glandular tissue, there is a lot of fat located in the breast or the mammary gland. Just behind this mammary gland, there is a muscular layer, that is pectoris major muscle, and behind that you find the ribs, and these are the muscles attached to the ribs. Now with another diagram, let us look into the detailed parts of the human mammary gland. I have made it a little bit simpler here, and all labelings I have made in this diagram. Now we see here that the mammary gland is divided into the lobes, mammary lobes. Okay, mammary lobes, and inside the mammary lobes, these are the alveoli. Mammary alveolus I have labeled here, one single alveolus, and these are all the alveoli. They are connected first with the alveolar duct, and many alveolar ducts, they join together forming mammary ducts. Okay, and mammary ducts join to ampulla, mammary ampullae, as we see here, these structures. Mammary ampullae are the bulgings in the duct or in the tube carrying the milk, and they store the milk for a short period of time before it is being suckled out. So these ampullae are located just in an area of the breast called as areola. The external view, if you see here, the mammary gland has got the nipple and then the areolar region. This is the areolar region, nipple, and this areolar region inside contains the mammary ampullae, and from each mammary ampullae a duct arises and that opens into the nipple, and that duct is called as lactiferous ducts. So many lactiferous ducts come and open at the tip of the nipple, from where the milk is ejected out or released out. Now here we find that there is a adipose tissue, fat deposited inside the breast. One more thing we have to know is the mammary lobes containing these mammary alveoli, and around the alveoli there are some myoepithelial cells also. Myoepithelial cells, because their contraction makes the alveoli to squeeze out the milk, which runs through the duct system and is sent outside. Clear? That's how the functioning of the mammary gland is taking place. Mammary glands are found in males also, in females also, but in males they are vestigial and they are represented by highly reduced nipple and a areolar region. So that is in men, and in women the mammary glands are very well developed. Mammary glands undergo further growth, especially the areolar region and nipple grow larger, and breast also grow larger during the pregnancy. And during the pregnancy, a lot of changes take place inside the mammary gland, like the size of the alveoli, mammary alveoli increase, duct system becomes more prominent and stronger, right? And synthesis of the milk starts. And after the childbirth, after the parturition, okay, actually the secretion of the milk begins. Secretion of the milk is taking place through a milk ejection reflex. When a newborn baby suckles at the mother's nipple, this sensation is carried by the sensory neurons to the brain center. From there, the information goes to the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus secretes and releases, releases the oxytocin hormone, which is actually collected in the posterior lobe of pituitary, and that oxytocin, as well as from the anterior pituitary, prolactin, these two hormones come into the bloodstream, and these hormones, actually oxytocin and prolactin, will bring about the milk letdown. Actually oxytocin is called as milk letdown hormone. Why? Because it will make the myoepithelial cells undergo contractions. These are very tiny smooth muscle cells which are surrounding the alveoli, and their contractions actually makes the alveoli to let down the milk through the ducts. Is that clear? Now let us look into the points which I have chalked down there below. Summarize whatever we have learnt, and some more information will take up. Now the points what I have listed here is like the first one, as because we belong to class Mammalia, we have mammary glands, and then in men they are vestigial structures in men, and represented by a pair of nipples. Okay, that is, those structures are also highly reduced. And then in women, they are well developed, and they are in the form of a paired breast in the chest region. And mammary glands actually are skin glands, as I told you. They are modified from sweat glands. Then they serve very important function. What is that? That is producing the milk to feed the newborn baby. Okay, and we see that the pair of well-developed mammary glands are present in the chest region of the adult human female. Each mammary gland, as I told you, at least it is divided into 15 mammary lobes. Actually 15 to 20 is a variation, and these lobes are there inside the mammary gland, and each lobe has large number of the mammary alveoli, which are connected with the duct system. Thus, mammary gland can be taken as a compound branched alveolar gland. Okay. Then, each alveolus is surrounded by, as I told you, myoepithelial cells. Myoepithelial cells. Okay. So we see here, these are the cells of alveoli. Cells of this alveolus, for example, which are secretory in function, okay, and surrounded by myoepithelial cells, which help in squeezing out the milk from the alveolar glands of the mammary gland. Okay, now let's take up further few more points. We have seen that myoepithelial contractions will help in release of the milk. Now, as I told you, greater enlargement of the mammary gland as well as the nipple occur during the pregnancy. Hormones responsible for mammary gland growth and lactation. Let's see what are these hormones responsible for growth and development of the mammary gland and secretion of the milk, that is lactation. Progesterone stimulates the growth of the mammary alveoli. Progesterone helps in the growth in size of the mammary alveoli. Then estrogen helps in development of the duct system, that is the mammary ducts and the lactiferous ducts, mammary alveoli, all what you have seen, those duct systems are developing by the stimulus coming from the estrogen. And then prolactin regulates the milk production. Another hormone, human placental lactogen, it is called as HPL, human placental lactogen, right? That also helps in growth of the breast, nipple and areola region during the pregnancy. Then oxytocin is known as milk letdown hormone, as I have told you, which brings about the contraction of myoepithelial cells around the mammary alveoli so that the milk is let into the mammary ducts. Now, how it is being released? I have told you that there is a milk ejection reflex. Let's see what it is. Now, here if you look at into this diagram, when the baby suckles, suckling stimulates the mammary gland and the sensory neurons carry that message to the brain center. Brain center stimulates hypothalamus, that stimulates the pituitary gland, that is posterior lobe, to release oxytocin, and anterior lobe of the pituitary to release prolactin. Okay, these two hormones will be stimulating the breast that is oxytocin, is acting upon the myoepithelial cells, and which bring about the contraction volvuli, and like that the milk is ejected out from the nipple of the breast. And as long as the newborn baby keeps on suckling, mother's breast go on producing the milk. Once the suckling stops, then slowly the production of the milk also decline and completely stop. The period when the mother is feeding the baby with her breast milk is called as lactation. Okay. Now let us see the path of the milk, how the milk is being transported from the alveoli to the nipple. So first, from the mammary alveoli, it is squeezed out into alveolar duct. From alveolar duct, many alveolar ducts join to form the mammary ducts, and these mammary ducts join the mammary ampullae, bulged portions where the milk will be stored for some time, and then the lactiferous ducts carry the milk outside the nipple through the openings in the nipple. And this sequence has been asked in the multiple choice questions in previous examinations of NEET or KCET. So remember this sequence. Remember the parts of the mammary gland and their functions. Now a little more information let me give you, because sometimes such questions may appear, like for example, if you take up monotremes. Monotremes are nothing but egg-laying mammals. Egg-laying mammals. Now egg-laying mammals like Echidna and Platypus, they don't have nipples and the structures visible outside actually for production of the milk, but the glands are there in the skin, and their ducts, the ducts of the glands, the tubes of the glands directly open through the openings in the abdominal region on the ventral side of the belly, we can say, so that the newly born young ones of these egg-laying mammals can just lick the milk from the skin of the mother. And one more important thing is, both the parent carry out lactation, that is produce milk. Both male and female monotremes produce the milk. Okay, whereas in all other mammals and in humans, we see that milk production is taking place only in the breasts of the female individual. Is that clear? So we'll meet again in our next session with some other topic. Till then, bye bye.